Hey kids, join the club. Get the all-new CCXCC t-shirt made with 100% mutant power. Be like these cool kids. Get it now on dinobeast.com and chrisandersoncomics.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 45 of the Claremont X-Men Comic Club. We're taking a look at issue 133. John Coates, how the hell are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Chris. I'm ready to slice and dice tonight.
Man, I can't believe we've done 45 of these things already. It feels like we blinked our eye.
I know. It's like we're just barely scratching the X-Men surface here.
I know. So this is a jamming issue, man. There's a lot going on in this one. We are deep into the Dark Phoenix saga. We have not seen Dark Phoenix yet, but I imagine that is the culmination of all this. But we're going to see some really cool stuff in this issue. Look at that cover.
Oh yeah, I think John Byrne's best covers involve Wolverine.
Yeah, he's really finding Wolverine's voice. Both of them are really at this point. Yep. This is the Wolverine that we know and love. In fact, yeah, this is the sweet spot, I think, for the character.
Yeah, I agree. It really is coming together for Wolverine moving forward. Yep. And look at this great action and the bodies falling around. And we've mentioned how cool the Hellfire goons look.
They're so creepy.
Yeah, their pale flesh faces,
fleshy crash test dummies.
Yeah. And the little signature box says Byrne and Austin Incorporated. We deliver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Which is great. And all the X-Men have fallen before the might of the Hellfire Club, all except one. Wolverine lashes out.
So last time we saw he had fallen down into the sewers that had gotten flooded.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is clinging to the roof of it as these goons have been walking through, and boom, there we go. Right, we pick up right where we left off.
Yeah,
and yeah, man, this is peak Wolverine here.
Yeah, great splash page.
Love it.
Look at the shadows on these guys' faces as they're searching for him.
Yeah, that's really great.
Mm-hmm. Hunting the mutie, who's probably dead. Oh man, they are going to be sorry. Claremont and Byrne, writer, co-plotters, penciler, Austin on inks, Orzakowski, Glynis Ween, Sauerkrupp and Shooter are our editors. And this is May of 1980.
Okay. It's 1980. Wolverine is really finding his voice. The voice that we're gonna have for him at least until the early 90s.
Yeah. Yep. And it just struck me here the way he's just pressing against these boards to hold himself up here, right?
Yeah.
But imagine how tough that would be, because Wolverine weighs, he's got to weigh 300 pounds plus.
Yeah.
With all that metal on his skeleton, right? He's a
super
heavy
light.
dude.
It's super light metal, right? It's
yeah.
He's he's got bird bones made out of metal. So maybe he doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think I'm always under the impression that he weighs a freaking ton.
I don't know. Yeah, it's good. If adamantium is super light, probably weighs less than bones. Maybe he weighs less than an average person, and it's just muscle.
Yeah, but they never tell us it's light. They only tell us that it's strong.
Is that right? They never say that it's light?
No.
Ever? Okay. Oh, all right. Fair enough.
I don't.
Fair enough.
But so here we go. So here's our goons. They're searching.
Yeah.
You know, they think he washed away when he got sucked down through the floor when Harry Leland made his mass just increase until he just busted on through.
Yeah.
Here we're going to introduce Tiny Colossus to help me hold the pages here. Oh, perfect. Way to go.
First appearance of Tiny Colossus.
That's
Right here, episode 45.
Key. This is a key, raw key episode here.
That's right.
So here are these guys, and they're these Hellfire goons. They're searching around, and all of a sudden, one of them gets water dripped on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What? The ceiling? It can't spring a leak." And then, surprise! Here comes Wolverine, just diving down. That classic burn, sort of double arms pulled back.
Yeah, that's such a cool pose, and like every artist ever who followed loved that pose.
Yeah,
you know, and used it,
right,
including this one.
Yeah. it's too good not to use.
It's too good.
Yeah. And you know, Claremont's doing this cool thing again with like all these goons, like they're always referencing each other by name, you know. So he's like Murray, and the other dude's like Angelo, he's coming after you.
Yeah, it's really funny because like a goon like this usually is the reason that they're sort of not named in stories is because they're usually just cannon fodder, and these guys kind of are too.
Yeah,
because you don't want to get too close to them. Don't name your pet chicken, right?
Yeah.
And they go the opposite with this. Like they like lean into it and create like names, and like these are people. This isn't and they're not going the G.I. Joe route where like if you're made out of meat you don't get hit with a laser, but if you're a robot it's fine. No, these are they're getting torn up. This is great.
Yeah. And on cue when he's like Angelo, and then we get this all in red sort of colored panel here, and Wolverine just like guts the guy, like that guy's totally dead. And then he's jumping over boxes, and they're trying to shoot him with machine guns, and like, but he's just too fast.
Yeah. So they keep talking about how fast he is in here.
Yeah, and then also that he's having the time of his life.
Oh yeah,
he loves to brawl. He's ready for payback. Look at this. He dives over the box, and we get another one of these red panels as he just like slices this guy.
Yeah, Glennis is on fire in all cylinders on this one too.
And then he gets caught with a machine gun right in the sort of the side or the stomach here. The nice little butta.
Yeah.
Great machine gun effects.
Yeah.
And now they're like, he's down, and he's down, Cole. So now we know this guy's Cole.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he's like, stay back, cover me. Cool, like a little basement kind of scene, you know, with all the boxes and crates and stuff. You know, it's filled out well. Kicks the box over. Looks like, oh, he must be down. It's interesting here that you get a little bit of like blood, but in the original issue, it's like not colored red. It's just kind of colored like orange. You know, like it's orange light or something there. So
yeah, they just didn't even
notice
it. They didn't even bother coloring it in the classic.
Yeah, it's PG comic. You know, you can't call attention to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But oh, he's not dead. He pops right back up. Your mistake, bub.
Yep.
The runt lives.
Shock.
Yeah.
Great no in that word balloon too. That scribbled. No yell.
Great little the guns going off in the air as he's getting killed. You know, classic action movie kind of stuff.
Yeah. So here, this is some great stuff here because really great.
Now you got one guy left, and Wolverine, instead of like charging him right away, he's gonna like toy with him. And And he's like, and he gives this line that's basically, it's Clint Eastwood from Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry, right.
Yeah. Where he's like, I know what you're thinking, bub. He's hurt. He's 5 meters away from me, and I got a full clip of ammo in my rifle. Question is, can I kill Wolverine before he can reach me and cut me into shish kebab with those freaky claws?
Well, can you?
Yeah.
Punk?
And he gives the whole spiel about like, oh, his metal can cut through anything. Strongest there is.
Yeah. I love how that very first panel, the goon is set into black, but he's got this it's either him looking around, like, how do I get out of here? Like action lines in white around him, or it's just shaking. And he is shaking on the rest of the panels too. And then he's so scared that even his mask brow furrows.
Yeah, right. Like the eyes and everything are like contorted in that sort of scared face to enhance it.
Yeah, and then when there's this thing that happens in the art, and I think it goes all the way back to like Cockrum's stuff, like when Storm is changing, or depending on what's going on with her eyes change. And now Byrne has sort of used it with Wolverine here, where he's as far as I know, he's the only one who puts pupils on Wolverine when you get close like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if one of those fill-in guys, Dan Brown or whatever Brown, if one of those guys did it in one of theirs, but I don't think so.
It's unnerving for some reason, though.
Yeah, it is. And we get kind of 2 panels, and it's like very faint. Like it's almost like you shouldn't see the pupils, but you just do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and Wolverine succeeds. He basically scares this dude so bad he just drops his gun.
Mm-hmm.
And now he comes after him and just lifts him up and pops his claws, and he's just gonna scare him into getting information.
Yep.
Oh, good stuff, Wolverine. And while he's doing that, now we pop up to find the rest of our X-Men. They're all shackled in this big fancy library. And here's our Hellfire Club inner circle, just standing there looking at them, taking in their victory.
How many Cyclops beam repression devices have we seen so far in the 45 issues that we have looked at? I bet there's at least like 6 or 7 that we have seen. Every villain somehow already has that some sort of device made out of that material too.
How common must ruby quartz be?
Ruby quartz is all over.
It's everywhere apparently, and you can just get it manufactured, custom made, no problem.
Yeah, and you can make a full mask out of it that custom fits right to his face.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so funny.
Yeah, well, along with high tech, shackles that have like inhibitor fields.
Yes.
In them to prevent their, powers from being effective, which is sort of a commonplace thing in X-Men with your super baddies of all types. You got to be able to neutralize them for a while.
Yeah. I mean, well, how else, as a writer, how else would you deal with it, right? Like, I don't know. Like, only thing I could think of is like putting him in some sort of like other kind of device, like a room or something that dampens it or something.
Yeah, because if it's like regular chains or something, Nightcrawler can always just teleport. Colossus is strong enough to break stuff.
Emma in one of the last issues, one of the previous issues, had him in a cage that did it. So that's sort of like a room, but yeah, there's not many, like you have to have some sort of way to have them not just wake up and obliterate you. So yeah.
Yeah, because superpowers are they're too super.
Yeah, he keeps going back to this thing, and I was just wondering if there was like another way to do it, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
And here we get our nice little close-up shot of our faces of our current Hellfire Club here.
Yep.
Which, of course, Jean Grey is now the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. Evil. And then there's her man, Jason Wingard, a.k.a. Mastermind, as revealed to us last issue. Sebastian Shaw, our guy in charge. Here's our pudgy guy, Harry Leland, who took care of Wolverine. And then Donald Pierce, the Cyborg.
Yes. So we've got 4 mutants and a robot.
Yep. And then, of course, the White Queen, Emma Frost, would have also been here, but she is currently dead. She has currently been destroyed.
Right.
Yes. And I love how at the time, like, in case people don't know what a cyborg is, like, he has to explain it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, a few times, they're like, hey, he's part man, part machine. That's what a cyborg is.
Yeah, this is pre-Terminator or anything, right? Or
but if you're a kid grabbing this off a spinner rack at the 7-Eleven, you're reading this, you're like, oh, cyborg, that's a crazy concept. And now you know.
Yeah.
Educating tomorrow's leaders on cyborgs. There. We'll put Colossus over Colossus. That works good. So now here we get a little brief sort of power struggle stuff with the Hellfire Club. Shaw is like congratulating Mastermind because the Black Queen kind of helped turn the tide. But he's thinking to himself that this guy is going to be trouble. He's going to try and take power over me, but I'm not going to give up the Hellfire Club without a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what he's thinking. And then here goes, Mastermind smooching on Jean as his, part of his plan as he, seduced her and stuff. And the other X-Men, they're like, what is going on? Because, Cyclops is the only one who sort of knows what's going on with Jean.
Yeah.
And so everyone else is surprised. And then we get this nice little 2-panel, all of a sudden flash where she's looking at him and she's seeing him in that sort of ancestor pastime 1700s mode where she's been flashing back to.
Right.
As part of its Mastermind's illusion that he used to take control of her. And so everyone gets changed, so Storm becomes like a slave, and here's Nightcrawler, looks like a regular guy. And of course they do the Cyclops thing where he always has something covering his eyes. So it's like the shadow of this hat.
It would be interesting to see the original art on here, because looking at those 2 Jean Grey faces for that transition, it looks like the inking is exactly the same. So he must have done a Xerox copy or something and then cut it out and then placed it over the top of that.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is exactly the same.
Yep. So he must have drawn the one, maybe drew the one on the bottom first, and then because of the cropping, then cut it out and put it over there.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Yeah.
To take a look at like Heritage Auctions or comic art fans and see if somebody has that page.
Yeah, with the paste up on there, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
It's a great, great effect here. So that you get like that she is like, so it's like the same exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're seeing him like this, but she's seeing him like that,
Yeah.
And by not changing her, it kind of lets us in on that.
Yeah, and it's weird to see Storm with her hair down too, without her crown kind of.
Yeah, it is like it's usually not like it like coming in front of her face a little bit.
Yeah.
And so now here's Jean in this sort of fake pastime, and she's just being super cruel to everyone, saying how they betrayed her, and it's especially bad that Storm betrayed her because that's her slave and she owns her.
So crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, just some crazy American history just dropped on us here. And it's like, ooh, yeah, it's like, that's no good. This is really cool. Like, she's kind of taunting her, and in this panel, it looks like she's holding keys.
Yes.
But like in reality, she's holding Storm's headpiece that has her lockpicks in it.
Yeah.
Which is a great little detail there.
Yep, I liked that.
Yeah. And then, Jean like whacks her with this whip. And then Cyclops, of course, like, he can't speak in this helmet. So he's only thinking like, that he's being neutralized, but his brain isn't neutralized. So now he's gonna try some psychic stuff to try and break through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get this flashback here with our little rounded panels to show us its flashback. All the way back to before they went to Hellfire, when they're hanging out with Angel.
Right.
And when him and Scott and Jean got busy on top of this big, butte out in the desert, and she like neutralized his power so she could look at his eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where we're flashing back to. Because now it's telling us that, like, so Jean established like a permanent psychic bond between her and Scott when they were up there. So, and they're mentioning it as like, so it's like more powerful than when she briefly connects with the team before they do like a mission or something like that,
Yeah.
Because it's like a super permanent one. So then they're totally going to be in each other's heads. But like, she asked him if it's okay because, like, it, this is like a big deal, and he's like, yes.
Would you want your partner to know every thought that goes across your head and be totally cool with that? Seems like you could get into a little bit of trouble here and there,
Yeah, it's very, I guess Scott is, he can hold it together and deal with it, I guess.
What a good guy. What a good guy.
Yeah. He's that much of a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
So now we get back and he's like, it still exists, like this bond. Now maybe I can use it.
Right.
And we get this shot, like, here's our Black Queen. She's like holding Storm by the hair, and Storm's bleeding from where she's was whipping her with that curled up whip.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. And Nightcrawler tries to mouth off and like, why are we here? Why are we still alive? And we get this interesting little plot here.
Yeah.
From Shaw that, like, I didn't remember until I was rereading this, where he's saying, like, mutants are becoming more commonplace, and they're basically going to use the X-Men as like genetic guinea pigs to like figure out how to genetically engineer and create their own mutants that they would control, and basically create this whole mutant society, and they're going to be like a little group of kings at the top.
That line right there sets up basically everything for the next 30 years in some way,
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, just wrapped up.
Not necessarily with the Hellfire Club, but just in general. Wild.
Yeah. And then, like, after you get that thought dropped on you, now we're gonna switch scenes over here.
Yeah. Interlude.
Yep. Back to Scotland and our Muir Island here. And as I was reading like this right here, it struck me as sometimes people will complain about Claremont comics, or even like certain comics of an age because of like how much writing is in them.
Sure.
But like, I think it like this was really enjoyable to read, just to like take a moment away from your busy day or your social media quick scrolling or whatever, and just like pause, take a breath, like slow down with a comic book. You know, you don't have to blast through it. It's just like slow down and read and look at what's going on, and it just like, I don't know, it just gives you a moment to get into where this is going on. You get a moment to like get into this character and to what they're thinking, and it's just kind of nice, like take you away from, you know, your normal day and slow down and just enjoy it. Like you get more out of it.
Yeah.
And it forces you to slow down.
Yeah. Yep. I completely agree with you on that. I think that like, and especially since the language of these X-Men books are already established, you know that it's going to be verbose. It's a comic where you can pick it up off the newsstand and you don't have to read it all in one go. You can read it in throughout the rest of the, you know, month if you're that busy, which, you know, I can completely relate to. Sometimes I'll go to the comic shop, pick up a book that I paid, I don't know, however the heck much they cost now, $5 or whatever, and come home and I'm done reading it in 30 seconds. And that's it. Now I got to wait another month. You know, this actually gives you a lot more substance and
and this scene right here, you know, it's not like he's like, this isn't like a rehash of stuff. You know,
no,
it's like a description of like, the environment and stuff. And like, it's a, you know, foreboding environment and the barren rocks and like, and then it's like into like Moira and like how she's feeling at this moment, you know, because we just went through the Proteus stuff. And so, you know, about like, just about how she was alone and like all this stuff. And then it's going to, you know, now it's going to transition into like Banshee and like how he's feeling. And stuff. And so it's like this real, like sort of emotional, I don't know, just development and stuff with these characters that we like. And it's just nice. It's just nice to actually get that.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, people always compare it to soap opera. And I think that that's completely, well, it's fair and it's unfair, because when you call it that, it cheapens it. I feel like soap operas are these dashed out things that go on for forever, and this does go on forever. I mean, you know, it's still going on, but it's more of just an exercise in developing characters into people that we can relate to and they feel like, as a huge group of a team, each one feels like an individual, you know?
Yeah, they're human stories. Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, you know, when we're in it here, you know, Banshee, he's jogging, and it, you know, it reminds us that he's retired from the X-Men because his powers haven't come back. And, you know, and now she's kind of telling Banshee that she's worried about Jean because she just got the data analyzed, because remember when Jean was on Muir Island, Moira was running tests on her to figure out what was going on with her Phoenix powers that were like real powerful and then less powerful and then back to being real powerful. So they're trying to figure out what was going on. And now she's going to tell us what the deal is, basically. That as she became Phoenix, her power was like so great. It's like her ultimate power level was so high. She was like God level power, but in her awareness, she's still just a young woman.
Right.
And so her mind couldn't cope with all that power.
Yeah.
So to basically protect itself, it built in all these little barriers, like circuit breakers, to cut the power down and like keep her sane.
So he's studying like trauma and psychology and stuff as he's writing this too, because that is
he must be, or from his college days, or because that's what this stuff is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but then she goes and says, but lately someone or something has been releasing those breakers, and there are almost none left. So Jean's once more tapping near infinite power levels. And we of course know that's Mastermind's tampering is breaking down Jean's barriers that were like keeping her power down.
Now, does he know that she has the Phoenix Force in her?
Mastermind?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's a slight spoiler, but yeah, basically no. He's still just thinking of her as, the Marvel girl that he faced way back.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they had mentioned that or not, because okay.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that she's strong, strong psi that he can use and try and manipulate.
Right.
But he doesn't know that upper level of her power.
Okay.
Yeah. And so now we do our second interlude, and now we're back to New Mexico or Arizona, I guess. And here's Angel, cool silhouette across the moon. That's here.
A great shot, yeah.
Yeah. Flying around, and comes to see the professor, because the professor's still hanging out with him out here, sort of to keep himself safe. And he's talking to the professor, kind of catching up, and the professor is just telling him, like, he feels bad that he's left behind. And also, like, he's, that, like, Scott has taken charge, and he was raising Scott to basically replace him. But then when he did, he kind of resented it. And he says, that resentment, he's made terrible mistakes.
Yeah.
Recently. And he thinks people are going to suffer. And it's like, what are you talking about, Professor? And I love this shot of him down here. Like, I don't know, just the treatment of, like, this sweater he's wearing.
Yeah, it's
kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that profile shot is slightly tilted,
Yeah, it seems
toward
like
the 3/4.
Not very burn.
It seems very like beset or something.
Yeah, that's a good call. It does feel like
Toddlebin or something. It's got that Swamp Thing feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye out for more Swamp Thing Professor images. See if they come up again.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get back to the Hellfire Club, but now we're going to go upstairs to where all the normal rich people hang out, and a little conversation between a couple of the serving staff here.
Look at all the decoration and the flair and the whatever of the.
Oh yeah!
Like, what a pain in the ass to draw.
Yeah, amazing. Look at this little statue of a satyr playing pipes and stuff.
Yep, and all like the molding on the doors and panels and, jeez.
Yeah, they do a good job of selling how swanky and old-timey the Hellfire Club building is.
Yeah.
And we get this little mention here just in talk where they're mentioning that there's a senator here, Senator Kelly.
Yes.
And she's like, the presidential candidate?
What?
I think this is the first mention of Senator Kelly in X-Men. Am I correct here?
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah. So he
wasn't mentioned back in the Mother whatever Sentinel issue, right? In space.
No, because he's not up there in space, and I don't think he's on. I mean, they mentioned that they're going to go back and tell. I think it was just SHIELD stuff, though. I don't think they mentioned that they're going to go talk to like Senator Kelly.
Okay.
So we'll call it his first mention here, and he is going to be he's going to have big roles in X-Men moving forward. So
Right.
yeah, that's an important name here. And here we go. Oop, out of the dumbwaiter.
He's so small.
Yeah. Look at that.
I can
Awesome.
just see him going with the rope.
Yeah,
Pulling it
right.
up.
And he's following their scent, he's following Nightcrawler's scent and stuff. And he realizes they're probably up on like the second floor, but the dumbwaiter only goes up to this floor. So now he's got to get out of here and like find stairs or some other way to get up here. And I love his like, his costume cut on the stomach where the machine gun strafed him, which is great. And so he's like peeking around this corner, and this is like the big ballroom where everything's going on, and he's got to like get across there.
Did his belt just grow this issue, or have I just not noticed it?
It's been pretty big for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, really big. I think that's a burn. I think that's a burn thing that it gets real big.
Yeah, I don't have access to my other issues right now, but
I don't know if that maybe that somehow helps sell the idea that he's short. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah,
because it like shortens the torso by you just covering it up.
Yeah,
in a way,
it does. It does.
So maybe that's a reason for it.
Yeah. Do you think that like Corbin or somebody did that ad?
This ad right here?
Yeah.
For the gum?
Yeah. Look at that face.
Oh, shit. You are so. I mean, yeah. This face right here.
Yeah.
That does look really Corbin-y, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I wonder. If we can find that out.
Oh man. We're gonna have to do some hard Google searching now, because yeah, even here, just the way the eyes are and the way it's structured, I mean, that is totally Corbin.
Yeah, help us out, club members, because we always forget to look shit up after this. So
yeah, did Corbin do a Hubba Bubba bubblegum ad in 1980?
Yeah,
for X-Men.
Bubblegum.
I mean, it probably paid well.
I'm sure it did.
Right? Oh, good eyes. Good. Look at that. So Wolverine, he's trying to figure out what he's about to do, and whoops, freeze, sucker.
Yeah.
Gun to the head. I guess he must be caught now. And meanwhile, this is kind of creepy. So now, everyone, the inner circle is upstairs, hanging out. And now Harry Leland is like flirting with the Black Queen, and she's flirting back with him.
Oh, yeah. She is just like horned up.
Yeah. And like Cyclops, he catches it. He's like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, what the deal? Like, she's like flirting with everybody.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he can't be it's too important he can't think about it that right now. He's gotta figure something out here. And look at the helmet, look at the X that's going through the helmet there too. Isn't that like in recent years, isn't there a redesign of Cyclops that has some sort of visor like that? Yeah.
Where he's got like where it's just like a X across his face.
Yeah.
Like red.
It must be from this.
Oh yeah, most likely. I mean, if you're being honest, like post Claremont, there's nothing original that's ever been created in X-Men after that. After the fact.
Sure. I'm sure there's a few things, but
so yeah, here we go, and now he's like, it's gone. I can see the gamble's paying off, because he's using this
big open panel.
Yeah, because he's like trying to connect with Jean in the astral plane.
What does that say down on the bottom? Oh, continued after page.
After second page following.
Got it. Yeah. It kind of ruins the spaciousness of the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah, so they can give us an ad about Epic and ordering your Marvel comics through the mail.
Is that the Mobius surfer that Epic is trying to sell?
I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't look like it in this thing, but because it's mentioning Jim Starlin, Paul Galassi, Buscema, Wendy Pini, and it mentions Richard Corbin and brothers Hildebrandt.
Must be I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So now here's our Cyclops on the astral plane in Jean's mind.
Byrne and Austin must have been like, whoo, when it came to these pages.
That's how, because they're
on that Hellfire shit.
Yeah, right. All that molding on the walls. They're like, get out of here, Chris, please.
Breathe for a couple days.
And but all of a sudden, Cyclops is back in that sort of Revolutionary War outfit, and he's like, "Uh-oh, like this shouldn't be happening." And here the door opens, and here's Jean, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Scott Summers. We're lovers, you and I, and we're X-Men." Like, remember. And then the other door opens up, and Mastermind is here also. In her mind. And this is where he starts to think, he's like, well, this is impossible. Mastermind has no psi powers. He just creates illusions. How could he have learned of our rapport? And how did he get in her mind and all this kind of stuff?
Right.
I mean, I would say casting illusions, I mean, it is sort of a psi power because you have to it has to be believable in other people's brains. You're tricking their brains.
And also he is manipulating her because it even said earlier, he is doing something else to her because it said earlier that when she thinks that she's in this other time, she doesn't know anything about the X-Men or, he's manipulating her mind 100%. It is psi powers. He might not be able to levitate anything, but he definitely is manipulating her psyche.
Yeah, he's using his powers differently, than other psis that Cyclops knows about. But yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
But now they're gonna have this sword fight, back and forth, and Mastermind is just telling Scott, like, I knew you were gonna do this. I knew as soon as you guys made this rapport, I was waiting on you. This is a trap. You're going to totally fail. Yeah. And he's basically saying, I'm going to kill you in this duel. And then when I kill you here in her mind, the link between you guys will be severed and she's going to be the Black Queen forever.
Yes. I love how at the very first line on that is, on guard, Sir Jason. And he's just like totally playing into it.
Yeah.
Like, if it were me, I'd be like, you, Jason. And like, Jason's not even your name, Mastermind, you dickhead. I wouldn't be like,
right?
I wouldn't be like what's it called? LARPing,
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, I would be using Mastermind as like a slur, like to bring him down, be like, Mastermind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knows that he's being played with here and that Mastermind has the upper hand too.
Yeah, like Cyclops knows in his mind, he's like, he's a better sword fighter than I am.
Yeah. He's toying with me, he even says.
I
can tell he'll kill me whenever he feels like it. And I'm afraid he may be right. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying and he's not getting anywhere. And while that's going on, now we're going to see what our main man Wolverine is up to.
Mm-hmm.
So this is great. This little thap grabs that dude's gun hand and then just chucks him into the room full of people.
Yeah, that's just great movement right there.
And he just like walks on in like, stay out of the way. You're not going to get hurt.
It's this posture that he develops for Wolverine here too. Jim Lee really used this a lot, where he's like trudging forward. His whole back is bent forward. It's like marching through mud, but it makes him, I don't know, like tougher.
And it makes him feel, shorter and like stockier, and like makes him seem more like animal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing he does when he does that. And you're right, like you'll see it like later with Jim Lee. Like he definitely picks up on that.
They're really driving home this like fast thing too. Like he says, Bub, where fast moves are concerned, thwap, thwap, and like he's like zipping all. It's almost like he's got like speedster powers or something, It feels a little bit too much in this issue, because is he really known for being like so fast? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, like he's got fast reflexes and everything like that. But here it's almost making him seem like super fast or something.
Yeah, like he's the Flash or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just pointed that out because it's kind of glaring in this issue. They talk about it a lot.
Yeah, they do. But then, he's like he's just like just strolling across the floor here.
Yeah. And I love the crowd in the background. Like this was a very detailed page. He just got off of a more relaxed figure posy page. So he was like, oh man, he's like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to put in these suggestions of characters, and it totally works.
Yeah, it totally works. And like these guys are freaked out, and we get sort of the back of the Senator Kelly's head here, where and his guys are like, "Where's the Secret Service? Protect the senator!"
Yeah.
And now we get some upstairs, Hellfire security coming at Wolverine with these batons.
Yeah.
And they all got like sort of British wigs on and stuff like that.
Wigs, yeah.
Yeah. And Wolverine's thinking to himself, like, he can't pop his claws because he doesn't know if these guys are really bad guys. They could just be rent-a-cops.
Or get mind controlled or anything at this place.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't just, like, basically kill these guys because maybe they don't deserve it. But now it looks like...
of goon bodies in the wake that he doesn't know if they were mind controlled or anything, but...
Yeah, if anybody goes to the basement, they're going to be in for a shock.
Poor Gary and Steve and
and Angelo.
Yeah.
But it looks like these guys maybe they get the best of him. Like we just see he's getting overcome and they're just clubbing him.
Yeah.
So now again we don't know what's going on with Wolverine, and now we're gonna cut away before he shows us.
They're like fur trappers.
Yeah. So now here's our duel going on still, and Cyclops is getting tired, and Net gets his sword knocked out of his hand, and bam, look at that. Stabbed right through the torso.
Damn.
And the duel was to the death.
Damn.
And that leads us to there we go. Our final page, this nice big splash that brings us back with our Mastermind and Black Queen here, and the other X-Men are in shock, and they're like, well, Cyclops was okay a moment ago, then he gave a cry and collapsed. And Nightcrawler looks at him and says his chest isn't moving. He isn't breathing. Cyclops is dead.
Whoa.
Boom. End of issue 133. Cyclops is dead.
Cyclops is dead. Everybody, Cyclops is dead. So that is a huge issue. He never comes back. Man.
Mm-hmm.
This was a really great issue. This was fun.
Yeah. It feels like now by this point, now we kind of know who the Hellfire Club are, and we're just like, oh, we're in this struggle between them. Great stuff, great Wolverine stuff, great action in movement, and like so many of the drawings through here in this issue. And then we get two like really nice little interludes that aren't too long, but they kind of catch us up on our sort of X-Men who aren't here and what's going on with them. Yeah, this one's just a banger all around.
Yeah, man. Wow. Well, not only is this a banger, but the backup story in the classic is a banger. I think that this calls the introduction of the artist in this one calls for me to finally reveal to the world that I actually have mutant powers. Did you know this, John?
Oh, I did not.
I do. I can. It's kind of a crappy mutant power, but I can make anybody that I can see, even on video, have a wardrobe change. So just with a click of a finger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and check it out. I do have mutant powers. See, I told you. So let's take a look at the X-Men classic X-Men, I should say. That was X-Men Classics is what it was originally called, right? Now it's Classic X-Men at this point. So we got a great cover by Steve Lytle again. Check out this guy in the corner, like cowering. It's kind of hard to tell there, but he has these pupils that give him this like, 100-yard stare or whatever. Like,
yeah.
He's just like gone and terrified, that the Wolverine's taking out his buddies. That's great.
Yeah, great action cover, man. And those Hellfire uniforms against Wolverine's yellow.
Yeah, he really stands out. But this backup is a very special one. Again, cool Nightcrawler by Lytle again, but Jim Lee making his first CCXCC appearance.
Yeah.
Some very early Jim Lee. This is 1989 that this came out. I have a feeling that this was drawn before 1989 though. Because we'll take a look at his style here. The story is pretty lame to be honest with you. And you're gonna have to tell me who this villain is, but here it is. Check it out. So it is not. It doesn't feel like the Jim Lee of X-Men #1 or later. This feels like Punisher War Journal era, maybe.
Yeah, it does seem more. It's definitely post Alpha Flight.
Yep.
It could. It could be. If we were better hosts, we would have looked this up. But it could have been like more like after the first issue he does for X-Men, because then there's a break before he becomes the regular pencil.
Right.
He does a fill-in kind of a thing. Good looking Storm though.
Good looking Storm. It's a good looking Storm.
Is Scott Williams on inks?
You know what?
It's his normal boy.
No, actually, that's a good point. It's Joe Rubenstein on inks. And that right there, good point. I mean, I'm the guy who always points out the inks, and I'm the guy who just missed it.
Yeah, because we don't know how much heavy lifting Scott Williams does or contributes, because I can't remember seeing anything that Williams did that wasn't over Jim Lee.
Well, he did like Will's Portasio and stuff like that, but
okay, yeah.
You can tell just by looking at this face here that there's brush being used quite heavily, and whereas Williams would sort of do the like the W kind of thing across of it, or the V's,
right?
And almost exclusively used a quill. There's definitely a lot more brush on here for the feathering and all that stuff, which Williams never would have used. And so I think that the handling of the pencils, I don't know, maybe the pencils were super tight, later Jim Lee era looking stuff, and it's just the inks. Very well could be. So this story kind of opens. This is an Ann Nocenti story. She's done some really, really awesome backup stories, in my opinion, that just felt like, I don't know, some of the best ones were just sort of almost like atmospheric, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And then she's done some real stinkers too, but that's the nature of comics, right? You gotta bust it out. You gotta push it out, kick it out the door. This one is kind of weird. Tell me what you think about it. But obviously, I'm going to try my best not to lead your opinion, but it's going to be kind of impossible. So you get Storm flying through the sky here. Cool shot of her up here, framed in the sky, and then people down here. She lands, and then you get this guy with these this Kirby crackle coming out of his eye, and I don't know if it's like a raindrop or something on his. There's a drop of something on him, kind of gross, and he's
very creepy.
Oh, she can fly. Maybe she's a mutant like me. Maybe she can help me. Oh, I hope she's nice.
Ooh.
So, this guy is in trouble and looking for help, and is hoping somebody nice will help him out. Clearly, I'm already leading your opinion here. Probably. So she's walking down the street, dressed to the nines. This guy in like a scarf and a limo. He gets out, and he comes up, and I don't know. He looks like Pyro almost, or something. I'm not sure who he's supposed to be, and so maybe you can tell me. He says his name is Billy Briggs.
Billy Briggs. Old B. Briggs. Bob Briggs.
Billy Bob?
No, I think he's just a guy for this story.
Okay. So he's walking down the street and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, but can I uh-oh. My camera went funky. Censored, I guess. Come on, come back to me."
Man, B. Briggs strikes.
Yeah, seriously. Come on. You can do it. I know. There you go. All right. So he's come up and he's like, "Excuse me, but I'd really like to talk to you." And she's like, "Oh, how annoying. Go away. Who does he think he is?" And he's like, "Allow me to introduce myself." And that she's thinking this. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Billy Briggs, and I'd like to meet." And when he looks up, she's gone. And so now he's like, "What the heck? Hey, not so fast." He's like, "Lady, I was talking to you, introducing myself, and you just walked off." And boom, he gets just nailed, in the chest by whoever this guy is in this, limo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Leave her alone. Can't you see that you're bothering her?" And he's like, "Oh, she's smiling at him." And she's like, "Oh, thank you. How very gallant of you. Oh, nothing for a beautiful woman such as you, anytime, anywhere." And then now he gets very incel. He's like,
yeah, he's all jealous now. Look at that.
Yeah, she's flirting with him. Oh, I see. Just because he's rich, oil slick, con man, is dressed so nice and handsome, she smiles at him. While old Billy is a little too ugly and messy for her. So, he's pissed. She blew her off, and she's kind of being a prick too, And so later on, they're back at the mansion, and Colossus is clearing out this tree.
Look at that good Jim Lee Colossus right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was already had his Colossus ready to go when he did this. I feel like it's there's a lot of Art Adams in this early stuff too.
Yeah, man, he was big influence on that era.
Yeah, and I think on all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he and Michael Golden on him, right? So he rips it out. Storm is like moving it, and then this guy's like over in the corner, and he's like, ha 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 ha. Well, look at all this love and camaraderie. This guy's clearly just like lonely, and like now he's pissed about it. He probably lived in his mom's basement. She was like 700 pounds. Abused him, and and then she passed away, and they sold the house, and now he's out on his own. That's what my guess. And so he all of a sudden the car next to them just explodes, and this guy is like, ha 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 ha, nobody move. Basically he's like, you have 5 seconds to choose which one of your friends lives and which one dies. And so she's like got this moment where she's looking back and forth between them, and she's like, I better let the I let the better fighter survive, or for the sake of the X-Men, which would be the best. She's like really thinking about who she's gonna let die. Just funny, because any other time the X-Men would just be like, screw you, dude, let's fight. But she's looking back and forth between them.
All those faces of like the two storms right there, and then that earlier image of when he got all jealous.
Yeah,
with all the shadows, like, boy, those don't look like Jim Lee at all.
This one here,
really, that one, the angle looks, that sort of 3/4 angle. You can kind of see.
Yeah,
but like he usually in his work he doesn't do. Yeah, he doesn't like really do those kind of shots.
Yeah. It's interesting
and stuff. So it's an interesting choice here that like he was trying them here.
Yeah, he's still finding himself, and I think once he locks into position, he's locked into position. Because like a lot of people complain that he hasn't really grown as an artist since the X-Men days. But when you find something that works and fans are eating it up, you can't argue with the fact that a squiggle on a napkin goes for like $10,000 for the guy. So obviously he's smart. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she has to choose between the two. She chooses Wolverine, obviously, and then boom, nails him. Now this feels very much like a Jim Lee, shot, and here again with picking up the tree, and she nails him. Like, if this is just a regular guy getting hit by a tree,
he's dead. He's totally dead.
Totally dead. His skull is caved in. So she, here's Wolverine too, like dead on the ground. So she picks him, uses the wind, picks him up, but of course he's alive. Now that looks like Jim Lee. In fact, I feel like he's used that exact same shot in later X-Men issues.
Yeah, give him Wolverine the canines, man.
Yeah, you gotta. So boom, throws him way up into the sky. And then boom, back down. So clearly this guy is like got some sort of healing powers or whatever too. And Colossus picks him up, and they're just gonna shred him apart. And he's like, Wolverine, he's a human being, evil perhaps. Well, I mean, why is he evil? Because of society, and you just caused it, right? But we know not what made him this way. Well, it's his abuse mother. According to me, he reached out for me for help today, and I ignored him. I'm perhaps as guilty and wrong of wrongdoing as he. Let us bring him into the mansion. Perhaps Jean can help with this sad creature. And so he's like, you understand why I had to make this? And he's like, yeah, good. Or why I had to choose you? And he's like, yeah, good choice. And she's like, Logan, forget it. I'm gonna go get a beer. And then she walks off, and he just like has a sinister look and says like, "Looks like I won, lady friend." The end. So I thought that was kind of weird, a weird story.
Yeah, that is a weird one. I mean,
Because Storm is very compassionate, for the most part.
yeah. I mean, I don't blame her for blowing that guy off on the street. It's like just some creeper coming up to you and acting weird.
Right.
And it happened so fast. She was about her business. Then it just sets up a nice little. Here's a new evil menace, and he fights a couple of the X-Men. These backups, they have to be done so short. They only have so many pages, and you're not really getting to like develop any continuing stories. So sometimes you're just like, let's just have them fight a guy.
Yeah.
It looks not, it looks nice though.
Yeah,
I think
it does. It looks
nice Jim
really
Lee
great.
story.
Let's see here. Let me just look.
Interesting ending though. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So who is this guy? Let's look real fast. Yeah, it looks like he's just in this story. It seems like. Oh wait, maybe he's only in this story. So he never comes back.
Billy Bragg.
Wow. Anyway, that's.
I wonder if there was a plan. I wonder if she was planning for him to be something and to come back later, to connect with Shadow King or just something else, just some other mutant thing that she was going to get to work on, and then it never, then that never happened.
Could be.
And then, he just gets left behind.
Yeah, it could be
kind of deals.
And I'm surprised at this point. It didn't look like anyway that he's come back and anybody's picked him up. Usually,
I mean, he's clearly a tough dude,
Yeah. Well, mark it down for when we are, writing and drawing X-Men, right?
That's right. Billy Bragg, issue 1.
What is this? Sleaze Brothers.
I don't know what that is. I don't know that came out.
What Gru does to barbarians, they do to intergalactic private detectives. Okay. This looks like Kelly Jones, Freddy here or something, or either Kelly Jones or like a Sam Keith. I don't know.
Yeah, it could even be like a Wrightson.
Yeah.
Something maybe.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Police Academy. Come on, people. Get with it. Anyways, there we go.
There it is. It's a nice back, even with the weird cliffhanger and stuff. That one's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see Jim Lee. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thus concludes issue 134 of the X-Men and the Dark Phoenix saga. Another banger. So join us next week for issue 135 and go find it however you need to. Steal, beg, borrow, buy, whatever you got to do to read the next issue. And we'll see you next time. Until then.
That's right. Be excellent, guys.
Later.
Check out dinobeast.com for all things John Coates like Dino Beast, Ninja 4, M.L.F, Berserker, and more. ChrisAndersonComics.com is where it's at for books like Chaotic Neutral, Spectral, A Showcase of Fear, Lost Angels, and more, plus apparel and original art. Also a link to Patreon where you can read Three-Headed Pigman now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We'll see you next time on the Chris Claremont X-Men Comic Club.